Hello everyone, welcome to another Math 1 session on the topic called statistics. In this chapter, as we know, we have been studying a wide variety of topics, out of which we have already seen how to calculate the mean, median and mode of the data of grouped as well as ungrouped, which means today we are moving ahead to understand pictorial representation of data. Now, the first thing that we are learning today is objective 6.4. You can start writing. We will be able to represent a group of data using a histogram. Histogram क्या है, कैसे है, ये आज हम लोग समझने वाले हैं. Before we move ahead, we have already seen that we can represent data in various pictorial forms. We have known how do we draw a bar graph, we have also drawn a line graph, and we have also seen pie charts. What is the advantage of doing this? What is the advantage of showing any data in the form of a picture or pictorial representation is that it is very easy to see data in this form. Rather than writing numbers, it's very easy if I have the data in the form of pictures. So that is why we represent data in the form of pictures to give us a better idea. Now let's understand a histogram by first reading a histogram. So histogram बनाने के पहले histogram समझने की कोशिश करते हैं. You need not write this question. You just have to think on your own and see if you can understand this or not. So a population survey was conducted in a small locality in Ratnagiri district, and the following histogram was obtained, which shows the age-wise distribution of population of people in the locality. What does that mean? रत्नागिरी डिस्ट्रिक्ट के एक लोकेलिटी में हमने एक पॉपुलेशन सर्वे किया और हमने देखा कि एज वाइज उस लोकेलिटी में कितने लोग हैं, एंड दिस इज द ग्राफ दैट आई गॉट. You can see at the bottom there is the different ages which have been mentioned, and here is the frequency, which means the number of people. Now I want you to note one thing. You have already drawn bar graphs. A histogram is a little different from bar graph in the sense that there are no gaps in between. बार ग्राफ्स में आप एक रेक्टेंगल बनाते थे, फिर एक गैप होता था, फिर एक और रेक्टेंगल होता था, बट अ हिस्टोग्राम इज कंटिन्यूअस. नाउ यू मे आस्क द क्वेश्चन, व्हाई इज हियर this continuous? Well, if you apply a little bit of critical thinking, you will be able to understand that the graph is saying that there is no person in the age group of 80 to 90. This is what the graph is trying to say. So look at this graph and try to answer a few questions that are coming ahead. Again, you need not write these questions, just be with the flow. How many people are in the age group of 30 to 40? Now look at the graph and think how many people are in the age group of 30 to 40? Yes, the correct answer is 4, because this is the range of 30 to 40, and how many people are there? There are 4 people. Based on this, let's try to complete the table now. What I have done is I am making a table from a histogram. So from a histogram I can make a table. What do I do is I make age of all the people, and from the graph let's try to fill this up. आप अपने दिमाग में सोचिए क्या क्या वैल्यूज आएंगी. Yes, the values that come are 2, 4, 4. In the age group of 50 to 60, the number here should be 5. Please make this correction, okay? This will not be 4, this will be a 5 over here, as you can see in the graph. Then it comes to 3, 1, 0 and 1. Okay, please make this correction. Here 50 to 60, यहाँ पे 4 की जगह पे 5 होगा. It is incorrect over here. It's a typing mistake. It should be 5, as you can see from the graph. So from the graph, I have been able to convert it into a table. Now we are going to understand how to make a histogram. Before that, note down this question. Before understanding the steps कि कैसे बार ग्राफ बनाना है, a few important things that we need to know. But first, please pause and write down this question. Now the question says that NAV का मतलब होता है जो म्यूचुअल फंड्स हम लोग जिस प्राइस पे खरीदते हैं. So this question means that there are 20 mutual funds जिनका प्राइस 8 to 9 है. NAV stands for net asset value. ज़्यादा कुछ आपको समझना नहीं है, it's just the price of mutual funds. There are 40 mutual funds जिनका प्राइस 10 to 11 है. There are 30 mutual funds which are priced 12 to 13 hai, and so on. So this is how the process is going on. We are going to make a histogram to represent this data. Let's move ahead and note a few things before we go to the steps of making the histogram. Number 1, you are going to use a graph paper for this histogram. तो graph paper पे बनेगा. तो अगर अभी आपके पास graph paper नहीं है, प्लीज़ वीडियो पॉज करिए, जाके अराउंड 20 लूज ग्राफ पेपर्स ले आओ। अगर आपके पास पुराना ग्राफ बुक है सो उसमें से यू कैन टेयर आउट द ग्राफ पेपर्स एंड ड्रॉ फ्रॉम देयर। इफ यू डोंट हैव एंड यू आर गोइंग टू बाय, डू नॉट बाय अ ग्राफ बुक, rather buy loose graph papers. You are not going to use pen in the graph paper at all. You will only use pencil, and for every question you will draw the graph, tear the graph from there and staple it in the correct place near to the question. Make sure you do these points before moving ahead with the video. Now, here are the steps that we are going to follow to make a histogram. You can pause, you can read this. We will be doing each and every step to make the histogram. If you want, you can also write, but it is not necessary to write. Just read through this, pause and read. So let's move ahead to our question. This was our question. The first step says that we need to ensure that the classes are continuous. The question here is, are the classes continuous? No, they are not. It's 9 and 10 over here, 11 and 12 over here. So I need to first make the classes continuous. How do I make that? This is how I am going to convert my discontinuous classes into continuous classes. I am going to shift 0.5 up and down in the classes. The frequency will remain the same. The second and third step says that we have to show the class on the x-axis and the frequency on the y-axis. So let's start this. Let's take out our graph paper. We will draw two lines, two long lines, one representing the x-axis and the other representing the y-axis. Please make sure that you are drawing the lines on the dark lines. देखो ग्राफ में ना आपके छोटे लाइंस होते हैं और एक डार्क लाइन होता है. All the lines that you are drawing should be drawn on the dark lines. इसके बाद ये जो ब्लैक लाइंस है इनको इग्नोर करो, ये थोड़ा एडिटिंग का फर्क है. These are nothing which have been drawn till now. Okay. Now after this, please note a few things that we have marked. It is very important to mark the x and y कि कौन सा एक्सिस x है, कौन सा एक्सिस y है. This is step number 1. Now x एक्सिस और y एक्सिस नेगेटिव में भी एक्सटेंड होता है. अगर आपने कोऑर्डिनेट ज्योमेट्री याद होगा आपको तो ये नेगेटिव में भी एक्सटेंड होता है, which is towards the left and towards the bottom. Those axes are called x dash and y dash. So make sure you mention that also. What comes next is in the x axis हमें क्लास लिखना है. अभी यहाँ पे क्लास का नाम लिखा नहीं है, इसलिए आप क्लासेस मत लिखना, आपके क्लास में जो गिवन है वो लिखना. और y एक्सिस पे हमेशा फ्रीक्वेंसी आता है. ये ऑर्डर प्लीज चेंज मत करना. इफ यू चेंज द ऑर्डर द एंटायर ग्राफ विल बी रॉन्ग. द नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग टू नोट इज द markings. So now when I am doing the marking, I am starting from 7.5. You will not write 8.5, rather directly move to 9.5. बिकॉज आपको पता है हिस्टोग्राम अल्टीमेटली कंटिन्यूस बनेगा. सो 7.5 से 9.5 एक है, 9.5 से 11.5 सेकेंड है, 11.5 से 13.5 थर्ड है. ऐसे ही आप स्टार्ट करो. जो डेटा आपको टेबल में गिवन है सेम डेटा से स्टार्ट करो. ओके. एंड द थिंग दैट गोज फॉर द फ्रीक्वेंसी. नाउ यहाँ पे आपको थोड़ा लॉजिक यूज करना पड़ेगा. दैट यू हैव टू मार्क फ्रीक्वेंसी. यू कैन सी ऑल दीज नंबर्स कम इन द 5 times टेबल. So the best way to do the marking is make each gap 5-5. So एक एक गैप को अगर मैं 5-5 कर लूँ so मेरे सारे वैल्यूज को मैं मार्क कर सकती हूँ. Once I have done the marking, and the marking should again be done on the dark lines, not on the light small lines, on the dark lines. Please make sure that you write the scale. The scale is very very important. Now how to write the scale? If you see on the x-axis, एक x-axis पे जब आप ये एक बॉक्स शिफ्ट करते हो, दिस वन बॉक्स इज 1 सेंटीमीटर. 1 सेंटीमीटर मूव किया तो आपकी जंप कितनी हुई? 2 रुपीज़ की जंप हुई. फ्रॉम 7.5 रुपीज़ इट बिकेम 9.5 रुपीज़. फ्रॉम 9.5 रुपीज़ इट बिकेम 11.5. सो ऑन द एक्स एक्सिस 1 सेंटीमीटर विच इज 1 बॉक्स इज इक्वल टू 2 रुपीज़. What happens on the y-axis? On y-axis you are moving 5 mutual funds. Remember, these are the number of mutual funds. So on y-axis 1 centimeter is 5 mutual funds. ये यूनिट्स मेंशन करना स्केल में बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इसके बिना स्केल की कोई वैल्यू नहीं. देन व्हाट डू आई डू? फ्रॉम हियर आई स्टार्ट ड्रॉइंग रेक्टेंगल्स. जैसे कि 7.5 से 9.5 के कितने शेयर्स हैं? 20. So I will take this box and stretch it up to 20. You can pause the video and do the same for all the other classes which have been mentioned. Once I do that, this is the final graph that I am going to get. Please see, on the y-axis you will not write frequency, you will rather write the number of mutual funds जो आपके original question में given था. And on the x-axis you will not write class, you will write NAV in rupees जो again आपके original question में mentioned था. So this is how we are going to draw a histogram. It's a very simple thing. Only a few things that you have to keep in mind is all the points that I mentioned earlier. Thank you so much everyone for engaging in this video. Before I end up this video, one thing please notice here. ये एक लाइन, कर्व्ड लाइन यहाँ पे ड्रॉ की गई है. इस कर्व्ड लाइन को हम लोग किंक बोलते हैं, KINK. ये क्यों होता है यहाँ पे? यहाँ से 0 से मैंने स्टार्ट किया और सीधा जंप कर दिया 7.5 पे, विच मीन्स बीच में एक जंप लिया मैंने. टू शो दैट जंप दैट आई एम नॉट गोइंग ग्रेजुअली बट आई एम टेकिंग अ जंप एंड उसके बाद मैं 2 स्टेप्स मूव कर रही हूँ. आई एम शोइंग अ किंक ओवर हियर. तो जब भी आपको एक जंप लेना होगा, सपोज आपका डेटा 125 से शुरू हो रहा है, यू विल नॉट राइट 0 1 2 3 4, आपका ग्राफ पेपर खत्म हो जाएगा. सो यू टेक अ जंप, स्टार्ट डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम 125. उसके लिए आपको एक किंक शो करना पड़ेगा. दिस इज हाउ वी मूव अहेड टू ड्रॉ अ हिस्टोग्राम. Thank you so much everyone for engaging in this video. Have a nice day.